Hello, you're welcome back to the DEYON Podcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a beautiful day. Yeah. And it's the rainy season. I hope you are keeping safe. I hope you are protecting yourself from all those air and waterborne diseases. So today is going to be another interesting episode on the DEYON Podcast. And don't forget, this is the Do Everything You'll One Day Need podcast. And I hope you've been enjoying the previous episodes that we have been delivering. Tell us if you have been enjoying them. And if you have not been enjoying them, please let us know as well, so we can know what to intensify, what to change, what to improve, and how to continue to bring you quality education and experiences that will continue to bring transformation to your life. So today is going to be a very interesting episode, and I just want to speak to you, right? A young person like myself, someone who is building something, someone who is building a family, someone who is building a career, or whatsoever you might be building that you know you will one day need, right? I want to speak to you from my heart, and I want to share maybe one or two tips with you that will help you continue to get ahead in life. And on today's episode, we are going to be looking at the two mindsets that would help us predict success. Or let me say the two mindsets that would help you predict your success in life. So have you always wanted to know who you are going to be, right? What your life is going to eventually become? Have you always wanted to travel into the future, to know, to have a glimpse of what your life looks like? You know, some of us would often joke and pray to God and say, God, just give me maybe some 10 billion from some of my future investments or my future earnings. And it will actually be very interesting if we can travel into the future and see what our future looks like and borrow senses from what our future looks like, so that we can quickly make adjustments now. And that is what the DEYON Podcast stand to do. We like to teach ourselves life lessons before life teaches us, or before life happens to us. And I hope you find this episode interesting, fun, educating, and inspiring. And before we dive right into today's topic, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to share your thoughts with me as you follow on this episode. So today we want to talk about the two mindsets that predict success, right? The two mindsets that predict success. And if you have these two senses I'm about to share with you on this episode, you will win at almost anything in life. Yeah, mark my words. Yeah, quote me anyway. If you unravel or discover or can apply what I'm going to be sharing with you on this episode, I can bet with you that you will win at almost anything in life. Now, I know this is not the first video on how to be successful or how to become better. I know this is not the first how to be successful video you are watching, and this one is not going to be one of those videos. This one is going to be very practical, because there are hundreds of podcasts out there, there are millions of videos out there, there are tons of books out there that teaches us how to be successful, right? But there's something that I've noticed after watching successful people from a close and long distance. I haven't come to understand that there is something that they have, right? Beyond the five senses we have, the sense of smell, the sense of sight, and all other physical senses that we have, there are also some two inherent senses that God has given to every human, but we hardly unravel them in a lifetime. And I hope this video helps you unravel it, so that you can apply them, and so that you can become like one of those successful people that you always admire and you always want to be like. Now, when you look at those successful people, most of the time we say, oh, perhaps they are more successful because they have talent, they have more connection, they have more money. Most of the time, that is not always the case. It's true that some of them might have gotten some certain leverage that we do not have or that we did not get. But most of the time, you've also seen many successful people who grew from absolutely nothing. And in that case, what would you say their advantages? We used to still call it talent, we used to call it connection, or we used to call it money. Even though we can say that they might have some of those things, but sometimes many of them do not have any of those things. And that is what this video is trying to emphasize. Many of them just have these two things that I call the sense of agency and the sense of urgency. If you can develop these two senses that I am going to be sharing in this video, you will suddenly notice a change and a shift in your character, your mindset, and the quality of the people you surround yourself with, and the quality of the decisions that you make. Now, let's start with the first sense, the sense of agency. Now, what is the sense of agency? Agency simply means believing that you have the power to influence your own life and change your own future. That is simply what the sense of agency means. It means that you don't depend on other people for your success. I'm not saying that you don't ask for help. I'm not saying that you don't borrow from other people's knowledge. But what I'm saying is that you don't believe that your failure is a determinant of a certain situation. Maybe you don't play the blame game. You don't blame your country. You don't blame your boss. You don't blame your work. You don't blame your parents. You don't blame your school. You don't blame your past. You don't blame what you don't have, because you believe that even if you don't have those things, what you have at the moment is still sufficient for you to take you to where you want to be. So rather than playing the blame game, what do the people who have a sense of urgency do? They ask one very simple question, and that question is, what can I do with what I have today? Right? It's not a question of what you don't have now. It's not a question of what you are not given. It's not a question of what you do not know. It's a question of what you can do starting from where you are now. So instead of saying that nobody is helping me, people with a sense of agency would say that, how can I become so valuable so that people can help me? And instead of saying that I do not have opportunities, right? People with a sense of urgency would say, how can I create an opportunity for myself? They don't say that, oh, I don't have this. Rather, they say that, what do I need? Who should I talk to? What questions should I ask, right? And I'll give you a quick example. Before I ventured into branding, photography, and the creative space, I was studying mechanical engineering, and at the time I thought mechanical engineering was going to be the answer to my poverty-stricken situation. But when I got into studying engineering, I immediately saw that engineering was not going to be it for me, because I was not loving it. I was not enjoying it. And I needed to ask myself this question: what do I need to do today that will still help me do, or that will still do for me what I thought engineering would do for me? It was then I felt like, okay, I am a person who learns very fast. I learn very, very fast. And I felt like, okay, what are those things I am interested in? It was then I saw graphic design, photography, videography as the tools that I needed. At that point, what happened to me? I recognized and harnessed my sense of agency. I saw that I didn't need to continue to blame the school or continue to blame the field system in Nigeria for my not getting ahead in life. I just needed to look within and say, what do I need to do? So many young people need to get to that point in their life where they need to just take responsibility for their own lives and not blame their misfortune on everybody else. Another example is this YouTube channel. I've tried to do YouTube in the past, right? But it's been hard, it's been difficult. But now that I've decided to do it again, I'm not going to expect anybody to come do it for me. I have to give it my best shot. I have to push myself. And that is what the sense of agency does for you. It helps you push yourself. It helps you do for yourself what no other person will do for you. Even if you have leverage, even if you have parents, uncles, people in high and mighty places, you will still not wait for them to get things done. You will always do things first so that they can always help you to get ahead in the things that you have done for yourself. And as much as the sense of agency is so paramount and important, I would also like to tell you that sense of agency is not enough, right? Sense of agency will not help you get to where you want to be. And that is what will lead us to the second sense that I'm going to share with you. And that is the sense of urgency. Now, what is the sense of urgency? From the word urgency, you would most likely want to think, anxiety. Oh, no. Sense of urgency is not a sense of panic, right? It is simply a sense that helps you stop procrastinating. Is a sense that helps you stop becoming a mediocre. While the sense of agency kind of shows you the power within you to get yourself from where you are to where you want to be, the sense of urgency helps you respect time, and it helps you understand that time matters. Today matters. What you do today matters. What you do now matters. It helps you realize that overthinking is not going to solve your problem. It helps you get up from whatever situation you are in and go out to look for the solutions that will take you to where you want to be. The sense of urgency helps you stop saying things like, I'll start next month, I'll save later, I'll apologize later, I'll pray later, I'll launch later. It helps you realize that your reward is your action. Yeah. Life rewards action, not intention. And also something I want you to realize with the sense of urgency is that most dreams die not because people are not capable, but because people keep procrastinating or keep postponing. So where does this two meet? Where does the sense of urgency and the sense of agency meet? So the sense of agency says I can, while the sense of urgency says I will. Agency without urgency becomes ideas, right? When you have agency and you don't have urgency, you just keep stacking up ideas. You keep wishing, you keep daydreaming, you keep wishing that something happened. You keep praying, you keep fasting, whereas nothing is going to happen because while you are dreaming, while you are hoping, you have not gone outside to make decisions that will make those dreams and ideas come to fruition. So when these two senses work together, what happens? Dreams become plans, right? Plans become action, and action become habits, and habits become character, and character now becomes your destiny. So how do you start utilizing the sense of agency and the sense of urgency as from today? That will bring me back to this podcast and what this podcast is called. This podcast is called Do Everything You One Day Need. You see, you need the sense of agency to believe your future is worth preparing for, right? You need to understand that you can't just sit back and continue to hope and dream and pray that your destiny, somebody called a destiny helper will just come and take you by the hand, even though they are destiny helpers. But destiny helpers does not come to people who are daydreamers, who are wishing, who are the destiny helpers meet people in the place of doing. That is why it is important. You keep doing everything you one day need. How do you do everything you one day need? You need to start preparing today. You need to learn every skill you need. You need to read every book you need. You need to nurture every relationship you need. You need to invest in everything that you need, right? Invest in people, invest in character, invest in attitude. You can even invest in prayer. And you also need to understand that you have to do something your future self will thank you for starting today. All right, so now that you already know what it means to have a sense of agency and a sense of urgency, now how do you start leveraging these two senses to drive yourself forward and become all that you have always wanted to become? You have to start by asking yourself these two important questions. And the first question is, where have I been waiting for other people to take responsibility for my life? I think that's a very deep question. Where have I been waiting for other people to take responsibility for my life? You see, sometimes we unconsciously expect people to take responsibility for us. That is why you will see an average Nigerian will say that we'll blame Tinubu, we'll blame the economy, we'll blame their parents, we'll blame their school, we'll blame their job, we'll blame their pay for, not getting ahead in life. Don't forget, you ask yourself, where have I been waiting for other people to take responsibility for my life? That's the first question you ask, so that you can continue to live a life as someone who have a sense of agency. And the second question that will help you get better or have a sense of urgency is when you ask yourself this question, or start by asking yourself this question: what important thing have I been postponing that I need to start doing today? I think that's a point we all have to pause, and conduct an introspection, right? Many of us can be better than who we are today. We should have gone further than where we are today, but we most time find ourselves where we are because we are not willing to take certain responsibilities. We are not willing to take certain risks. We are not willing to make certain sacrifices. And that has to change. If you must have a sense of urgency, you have to continue to ask yourself, not just every day, every week, every month, every year, that what important thing do I need to do? Right? What are those things I've been postponing that has been stopping me from becoming or getting to where I want to get to? And I'm going to leave you with this, guys. Success really belongs to the smart or the smartest people. It belongs to the people who stop overthinking, right? Success belongs to those who take action, those who develop the sense of agency, and those who develop the sense of urgency. So, like I said in the beginning, if you master these two, you will be difficult to stop. Nothing, no thought, no high, no low will be able to stop you from becoming all that you want to become. I believe you've learned something. I believe you'll be taking something away from this episode. And I believe you start applying those two senses, the sense of agency and the sense of urgency, to every aspect and areas of your life, so that they can propel you and ignite you to achieve and live the life of your dream. And if this video has done something important to you, please don't forget to tell me in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And don't stop doing everything you one day need. Until I see you same time next week, keep doing everything you one day need. And don't forget, sense of agency and sense of urgency are paramount to your success in life. Cheers.